Alright guys, I am so excited to make this video because I'm going to make so many nut jokes. This video is going to be nuts, guys, so try not to nut over how nuts this video is going to be. Okay, I'll stop for now. I gotta save some good ones for later, but seriously, you really don't want to be eating a lot of types of nuts because some of them are actually killing your testosterone levels. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why you should avoid most nuts unless you like having low testosterone levels. And I'll also go over which ones are okay to eat. So let's dive in. If you're new here, my name's Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer, a certified nutrition coach, and a chemical engineer. And for years, I suffered from low testosterone levels from being a fat, overweight, lazy piece of shit. And it left me feeling like a shell of a man. And it wasn't until I went through a pretty nasty breakup in college that I really started to get a grip on my life. So I'm here to share what I have learned along my journey with other men so that they can improve their health and increase testosterone naturally, just like I did. And I do post videos just like this one every single week, so make sure you subscribe so that you're not missing out on any of my latest videos. So the answer to the age-old question, do nuts increase or decrease testosterone? And simply, it just depends. It depends on the kind of nuts you're gobbling on. You can't just go shoving any kind of nuts in your mouth. You gotta make sure that the nuts that you're stuffing your face with are good quality nuts. So I'm gonna start with the obvious thing about nuts, and that's that they're high in calories because they are mostly fat. They're also not particularly filling either. I mean, have you ever munched on a handful of nuts and felt satisfied after swallowing them? I really hope you guys are appreciating all the innuendo in this video. Even if you completely disagree with everything that I have to say about nuts and testosterone, I hope I'm at least making you laugh a little bit. But for real, I can't recall a time that I have ever felt full and satisfied from just eating a bunch of nuts. And the calories in only a handful of nuts add up pretty quickly. So really, for that reason alone, I personally don't really like to make a habit of filling up on nuts. They're not really a regular part of my diet, and I just don't get a whole lot of enjoyment out of chewing up some nuts and swallowing them. I mean, sure, nuts do have some nutrients in them, but when it comes to your masculine health and your testosterone levels, it's not as simple as what nutrients they have in them. You can get all the micronutrients and the amino acids found in nuts from other sources that don't have all the harmful compounds in them that nuts have. For instance, walnuts and almonds were seen in this study to increase SHBG levels. And SHBG binds to androgens like free testosterone and DHT, and it essentially inactivates them. Not really what you want. Many nuts are incredibly high in polyunsaturated fats as well, and polyunsaturated fats have been shown to decrease testosterone levels in several studies because of the oxidative damage they do on biological tissues. Most nuts are also high in phytosterols, and many people see this as a good thing because phytosterols compete with natural cholesterol, but cholesterol is responsible for producing all the anabolic hormones in the body. So even though nuts are advertised as heart healthy because they lower cholesterol, that's not necessarily what you want. Most nuts are also high in a compound called phytic acid. Phytic acid is really good at binding to minerals in your body and rendering them as useless. And if you think about this from a chemistry point of view, it actually makes a lot of sense. So because phytic acid is acidic in nature, it tends to dissolve as negatively charged ions in aqueous solutions. And pretty much all biochemistry takes place in an aqueous solution because you are made mostly of water. And minerals like sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, all of these are positively charged when dissolved in aqueous solutions. So what's going to happen when you have all of these negatively charged ions from a compound like phytic acid, and then all these positively charged minerals floating around in aqueous solutions, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to bind to each other because oppositely charged ions are attracted to each other. Now, I could go into much more detail about acid-base reactions and chemical equilibria in aqueous solutions, but on a macro level, this chemical explanation makes a lot of sense. So, does all this mean that all nuts are bad? No, not necessarily. It just depends on the type of nut that you put in your mouth. Some nuts are actually really beneficial for testosterone. For instance, Brazil nuts, which I've talked about extensively in many of my other videos on foods that are high in micronutrients that increase testosterone naturally. And in light of the recent passing of Matthew Perry, I feel that it is extra appropriate that I mention how I always think of Friends when I think about Brazil nuts. Specifically the episode where they all imagine what their lives would have been like if they'd done things a little differently. In a nutshell, no pun intended, Monica ends up staying fat and she dates this super boring dude who shares all of these fun facts with the group. And one of his fun facts is about Brazil nuts. A Observe.
So, Monica, still going out with Dr. Boring, huh?
Can anyone else name a well-known seed that's been masquerading as a nut?
Oh, dear God, let me see.
By the way, the answer is the Brazil nut.
Was his question what's more boring than him?
Classic Chandler Bing right there. He's my favorite out of all of them for sure. You will be missed, Matthew Perry. But getting back to the video, Monica's boring, nerdy boyfriend is in fact correct. Brazil nuts are technically seeds because of the brown shells that encase them. And that's actually important because, well, first off, it kind of just follows the theme of alternative names for male essence. So instead of stuffing your face with nuts, you're now stuffing your face with seeds instead. And secondly, you want to consume the shell part of the seed because that's where all of the micronutrients are. And these nuts, or should I say seeds, are great for testosterone because they're very high in micronutrients like zinc, boron, selenium, and magnesium. Brazil nuts are also so dense in nutrients that the Capuchin monkeys actually figured out how to eat them by letting them bake in the sun and then busting them open. Yeah, bust that nut, little monkey. Bust that nut with that big, rock hard... Okay, I think these jokes are getting a little out of hand now. Anyways, all those nutrients can effectively increase testosterone levels. Brazil nuts are also much lower in polyunsaturated fats than most other nuts, so the pros definitely outweigh the cons when consuming Brazil nuts. I'm kind of glad they're called nuts though, because what if we just started calling them Brazil seeds? That just doesn't really have a nice consumer-friendly ring to it now, does it? Macadamia nuts are also great because they're much higher in monounsaturated fats and they only contain about 2% polyunsaturated fats. Now, some nuts that you definitely want to stay away from are nuts like pistachios, walnuts, almonds, and peanuts. These nuts are especially high in those compounds called phytosterols that elevate SHBG levels. And SHBG is, again, notorious for inactivating those good steroid hormones that you want to keep nice and high. Peanuts are especially high in polyunsaturated fats, and they also contain these compounds called beta-cytosterols, which reduce the activity of an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. And this 5-alpha reductase enzyme is responsible for converting testosterone into its more potent cousin form, which is dihydrotestosterone, also known as DHT. And let the record show that peanuts are not technically nuts, they are in fact legumes. So I'd suggest you monitor your consumption of these nuts. Swallowing all these nuts isn't completely gay. I always say nothing's gay until balls touch chins, but you definitely want to pay attention to the ones that you're gobbling up. Now earlier I mentioned one of the downsides to eating nuts is that they're high in calories and not very filling. If you're interested in learning more nutrient hacks like that, you'd probably be interested in my coaching program. I teach my clients how to eat and train in a way that's easy to follow so that they can get their fitness and nutrition habits dialed in for life. So if you want to learn more about how I can help you out, go ahead and fill out an application below in the pinned comments and I'll be in touch with you. But anyways, that's all for this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here and you've made it this far, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel as well. Men are getting weaker and lazier and more undisciplined than ever, and that's made pretty clear by the trend the average testosterone levels in men has taken in recent decades. So if you want to join my community of guys who want to take action against this downward spiral, hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bells on too so that you don't miss out on any of my latest content. If you made it to the end, I appreciate the support. I hope you got a ton out of this video too. Good luck in all your endeavors to increase your testosterone naturally. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.